Alright, and welcome back to Quest 64, the Windfire Challenge. In the last episode, we KO'd Solvaring and did some very light training on our defense and stats. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to do some HP and defense training. Currently, those Frog Knights hit me for 2 to 3 damage. So I'm going to do some training right here in the plains. I'm going to encounter myself a Werehair. I'm going to stand right in front of him, and I'm just going to let him hit me 65 times till I die. Or I can just, you know what, it might actually just be faster just to go encounter a Frog Knight. I'm not going to show a lot of the grinding, like I'm going to record it all, but I'll montage it to some remixes of Quest 64's soundtrack, just to kind of speed things along. And one short training montage later, we have raised our defense to 14 and our max health to 81. I kind of tested the waters in the new area just to see how I stacked up against the monsters there, and I should be able to hold my own. Granted, I am going to have to rely on some of my healing items. Oh, and one item I didn't explain, the replica. Basically, that is a get me out of this fight item, and we're gonna try to save those for the last area of the game, because with this particular challenge, the mobs in the last area of the game are rather difficult. Alright, yeah, I'll just escape that. While I was doing my grinding, you probably saw me use in the montage. You probably saw me use a skill that powered up my attack, and then I just proceeded to whack everything. So that's one of the fire abilities. Power Staff increases my attack power, if I'm not mistaken, by 1.5 times. My melee attack power. Let's see. I did not want to deal with you. So let's just kind of give like an example here. Okay, so if I hit him with the staff, it dealt 24 damage. Okay, will you piss off? So much for going into the next area with full health. I may actually end up taking another death just for doing this. But the time spent grinding was about 20 minutes, so I hit them for 20-something odd damage. So if I pop Power Staff now, I should be able to avoid these guys no problem. And I hit one with my staff, deals 39 times damage. So makes my melee attacks fairly potent. Granted, it's not huge right now, but when I get Power Staff level 2 and combine it with a skill I'm going to get at fire level 32, Vampire's Touch. Basically makes it so I restore 1/4 of the damage I deal. At the end, I expect to be hitting things with my staff for about 200, so I'll be restoring 50. So this is the area that we're going to try to get through now, Dondoran Flats. We're going to take a trip over to Glencoe Forest, and we're going to, as carefully as we can, sneak around and collect the 6 spirits in there. Probably going to die during the process of that. And we have a few spirits here to collect. And this is probably where we're going to start seeing me rely on Restriction Level 2. Which we'll have an opportunity to see what that can do in just a moment when I get into an encounter. So we're gonna kind of keep pumping fire for right now because we really need to get vamp. Okay, so we have 2 mad dolls here. These suckers are gonna use rock level 2, so I can escape right now, but let me just kind of show restriction level 2. So level 1 only works on a single monster, but level 2 works on groups. It has a low hit rate, low accuracy I should say, but what it does is it will trap an enemy in those rings, and they'll stay trapped for 2 to 6 turns, and during those turns they cannot attack. So if I encounter a mob fight where I'm severely outnumbered, I'll always try to leave. Well, here's an example. If I can't escape, I'll cast out restriction and see if I can trap any of them. Alright. I only managed to trap one of them. If I would have trapped 3 of them at least, I probably would have engaged them, but since I did not, I chose to flee. Okay, here's another fight. I cannot escape directly, so let me cast restriction and see if I can get lucky. Missed. Right, this trip to Glencoe Forest is probably going to kill me. So Glencoe Forest is an optional area off to the side. There's a little log that you can walk down right here. And in this area is where we can fight probably this Dondoran Flats' most dangerous enemy, which is gonna be the cockatrice if we run into one. We might have the means to take one out, but if I can avoid engaging one, I will. And therein lies one of them. Basically, what he just used is Avalanche, which is that spell that you would be after. It drops a whole bunch of rocks randomly. And those rocks will probably do about 30 or so damage to me. And as you can see, that thing just ate up Windcutter level 3s like it was nothing. Alright, so Connor Woods. Okay. So this being an optional area, the stuff in here is significantly more powerful than the stuff out in the Dondoran Flats. So that we have 6 spirits to collect in here. And I want to get in and out with as few engagements as possible. The Dark Goblins, actually you want to see those in mob fights because they lead by going first, and they always normally boost their agility unless they're within melee range of you. They spawn. So there is going to be one spirit out this way. Let's see, these guys I'm going to run. That was lucky. Just to give you an idea of how much damage I deal here. I don't do an impressive amount. If I get encounters in a one-on-one, I may engage, but I know it's behind one of these trees. It's this one right here. Yep, here it is. That's one spirit. treants. Now these guys primarily just use Windcutter level 3, so standing still will allow me not to get hit. So I may actually engage this fight if I get lucky on my restrictions, which I did not. So I'm just going to choose to flee. But I kind of want to see how much damage I deal, at least with Windcutter against him. Okay, so I still deal somewhat respectable damage, so in one-on-ones I can handle, but if it's a group fight, I need to get lucky on restrictions. And these guys are close. Okay, they're still popping agility though. It's lucky. For a second there, oh, I thought they used homing arrow, but I was mistaken. Okay, so we're gonna head over in this direction. Should be another spirit over this way. Run to the left, and we're gonna make a small circle. Let's see if we can get lucky on restrictions. If we didn't trap anyone. There's the spirit. Spirit number 2. I should also say that your total spirit level. Wait. 3. Your total spirit level influences how hard your attacks actually land. Oh, he's gonna land an attack unless I run out of my way and turn. Okay. But your total spirit level, like right now, I have a total spirit level of what, 16, 11, that's what, 27 plus the 2 ones, that's 29. So that 29 is what will determine how hard my staff attacks hit for. Alright, if there was ever a moment I needed restriction to hit. Alright. As you can see, it skipped his turn after I casted, but the treant's gonna go. And his Windcutters tick for 5, so yeah, it's definitely a mob we want to avoid. So we've gotten 2 out of 6 here. And go, I'm gonna to the left and then circle and run backwards, and I will flee. Down to this cottage. If it's close enough to the cottage, monsters won't be able to spawn in, so. We have Hot Steam now, which is a short range AoE that deals a good chunk of damage. So, if you talk to her, she talks about the entrance to Blue Cave in the forest. There's a lot of areas that kind of double back on themselves to kind of interconnect the world. Blue Cave, which is going to be the, what, 3rd major dungeon we tackle, does connect to this. Okay, so we came from that direction, so we need to head in this direction, and we have 3 spirits so far. Wait. Didn't I collect a spirit inside the house? I guess where there was a spirit inside that house. Unless I just flat out... Unless I collected it without even thinking. Ooh, we are a little close for comfort. Ooh, that hurts. As you can see, the mobs here are fairly deadly. Went to the left and oh, that tracked me pretty damn good. Oh, it's the escape. heal up once. Okay, spirit number 4. Spirit number 5 is over here by Blue Cave. You're too close for comfort. There's spirit number 5. Not miscounting something. I thought there was a 6th spirit here by the cave entrance itself. Which there is not. See, normally you could go down in here and you could enter Blue Cave, but we don't have the item that unlocks that. Kind of be a little diligent on looking around. Kind of like pan the camera around and just kind of try to look and pay attention to things. Because unless I collected 6 spirits and I just collected one without thinking. But this ain't good. Please miss me. Yes. I could have sworn there was a 6th spirit somewhere. Let's take... Just gonna like double back around the house, just making sure. Just kind of looking around. You'll be able to see a spirit shimmer and sparkle. I'm gonna take one more look inside the house, because I was pretty sure that there was a spirit in the house. Because I got the chest there. Where I came into this room. I guess there is no spirit. Odd. Okay. Alright, so it's kind of peeking around at things and just making sure that I'm not crazy. Okay, gonna run this way, and I love how you can dodge attacks like that. It just adds a dynamic to the fight. So there was one spirit there, one over there, one across the way. Oh, no. Okay, I did collect 6. Because there was 1, 2, 3 on this side, and then there was 1 in the house, and then there was those 2 by the Blue Cave. Okay, I'm not crazy. I just collected 1 and didn't count it initially. Alright, so we just need to escape. Alright, I managed to trap the one that was going to go next. So, return. No other spirit, yeah. Okay. This thing will murder me. And it has a crap ton of health, too. But I might actually engage this in a one-on-one, because it's a death warp back to Dondoran, where I can heal for free. Alright, Hot Lips, please die. Yes. And that is KO. Well, that's one way to escape from this area. Alright, well, we snuck around. We got all of our spirits. Okay, now we can officially push towards the docks all the way at the southern end of the Dondoran Flats. So we're just going to go ahead and push for that, and we're going to call the episode as soon as we make landfall in the next area. These guys really want to tango. If I turn my back like that, can I just send wind cutters after all of them? That one damage, though. Wow, that was actually enough to push me a level. Alright, got Fireball level 3. So, I suppose while I'm on my way, Forest again, we can talk about the enemy types and everything that we're going to encounter near the later half of Dondoran Flats. Near the second half, there's actually encounter a Frog King, and if I'm not mistaken, he uses... Ooh, I have the first move on these guys now, sweet. So my agility is, yeah, agility is 18, defense is at 15 now. Probably still not enough to get the first move in this area, but at least now we're starting it off with relatively full health. And we don't have to take a detour into Glencoe since we've collected everything there. So it is literally just a straight shot all the way down to the ship. Ooh, I actually do outspeed these now. Alright, let's see. Line this up. A large cutter should hit them all for relatively... If I run... Yeah, they only deal 9 damage. That's definitely not as scary as the shit ton of damage I was being dealt in Glencoe. So we may actually start picking fights here now. Mad Dolls, I'm going to engage in just because a single one of them. Alright, not quite to where I can one-shot them yet. We're down to 1 fresh bread, 2 honey bread, and a hero's potion. I'm just trying to watch my items to a degree. Okay, these things still outspeed me though. And if I have a choice, I kinda don't want to engage them directly. Okay, I'm gonna pass up Glencoe. Alright, hopefully I can get a restriction off. Them all. Alright, I'm not going to end this fight just yet. If you look carefully, I'm frozen, which is one reason why fighting those Death Huggers can be scary. Because that Ice Knife move they have, which you could learn yourself if you went through the water tree, water spell tree I should say, has a chance to freeze an enemy, preventing movement. You can still cast spells, but you just can't move, and this is not a good situation. So these guys use homing arrow level 1, and if you run diagonally at them, you can they can miss completely if you just run like that. Fortunately, I can just escape. This one, however, they are a little too close for comfort. It's alright, 30 health should be enough to last me through the rest. Ran too early. The one thing is about this game is during certain fights, because it has to load so many, I guess, character models for the mobs, the frame rate will tank. Alright, but once I get on this side of the bridge, the only enemies I can encounter here are in this area are these things, which please don't hit me. They use one cutter level 3. Alright. Because the end is right around this bend. You can encounter those. You can encounter Frog Knights and Frog Kings. Ooh, I actually outspeed these guys now. Alright. Can I get a restriction off? No. I have been really unlucky with my restriction casting. I mean, really unlucky. As you can see, the frame rate just tanks when there's a bunch of guys on screen. It kind of does allow for you to really read attacks and know where to run, but it's when the frame rate just catches up or stops lagging in the middle of an attack that you can get thrown off and get hit. Uh-oh. This is the enemy that I was honestly afraid of. That move he just did, it has the potential to kill me from where I'm at right now. Okay, we made it. Alright. And that's where I'll call this episode for right now. I'm probably going to do a little bit of off-screen grinding just off of the mobs here, just to bring my health and defense up a little bit more since this inn is extremely close.